Welcome back. It is your boy coming at you live from a slightly muffled throat, just getting over a wicked cold. You know how it goes, but I couldn't let that stop me from dropping some serious knowledge bombs on you today, especially when it is looking half decent out here in Ontario, Canada. So, let's dive into it. A lot of people ask me, dude, what is the secret to making serious bank? And I tell them the truth, but nobody ever believes me. They're always looking for some magic bullet. Some get rich, quick scheme, but the real secret, my friends, is boring. It is patient, and it is often counterintuitive. Now, before we go any further, let me just say it again, loud and clear. This is not financial advice. I say that every single time. I've made a ton of videos on the market in the past couple of months on the BizBath channel, but it has been a minute, so I wanted to make this more of an update. What the heck is going on in the market? And two, I'm still pouring tens of thousands of dollars a month into myself, into Bitcoin, into the S&P. So don't you dare think for a second that I'm just talking the talk without walking the walk. No, I am right there in the trenches with you, and sometimes I make these videos as a reminder to myself to stay the course, to remember, dude, you're 27, almost 28, you have so much time on your hands, it doesn't even matter. So, to all my 20-somethings and even my 30-somethings out there, stay with it, stay the course. We are in this for the long haul. Now, where even is the market right now? Dude, my portfolio has been swinging by tens of thousands of dollars on a weekly basis, in both Bitcoin and the S&P. It is actually insane, obviously. I've got a decent-sized chunk in TEC. That is a tech-focused index fund here in Canada, managed by TD Bank. But besides that, it is all over the place. One minute there is an announcement. The next minute there are wars going on. I try not to watch the news. I really don't. The only thing I'll consider myself keeping up with is X. Or Twitter. I get most of my stuff from there, but even then I try to focus on what is in front of me. What can I actually control? I can't even control the market, but I have a feeling that if we've invested in these assets, we are going to progressively, even if it is 10%, 15%, 20%. I think my annual return is going to be about 12 to 15%. Hopefully, once everything evens out in the next couple of years, but regardless, you need to focus on what you can control. And the market is just all over the place right now. Last year, I went through a point where I was focused on all the wrong things. Things were so messy, and you had one person screaming that this asset is horrible, and the other person screaming, no, this is the one, stay with it, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to keep a level head on my shoulders, and not get too sucked into one rabbit hole or the other. I'm getting so many funny, weird looks. I just had an old lady in the parking lot completely stare me down. No question, not a blink of an eye. She was just, what the hell has this guy got on his face? So anyways, point is, don't watch the news. Go out, have a coffee, go for a walk. Don't be obsessed with this stuff, okay? It is so easy to get sucked in. So I wanted to get that out of the way before I even talk about what these things are. And remember, I don't have any scripts, nothing. This is all off the cuff. I don't know the exact percentages, but do your own research. Number one asset, Bitcoin. Obviously, it made a ton of multimillionaires, even some billionaires over the last couple of years, specifically 5 to 10 years. And I really do think it is going to be doing that. Again, I think the compound annual growth rate is going to be very, very nice. Even if we see a 10 to 20%, 15% year averaged out over decade by decade. I think we're going to be hopefully sitting on a really nice chunk of change. So this is specifically for my business owners, or for my high earners, or for the guys listening that want something that is obviously do your research. Go down the rabbit hole of Bitcoin, please. There is so much interest in this thing because I'm a big believer in it, right? There are a lot of different factors at play here. It is obviously limited quantity, 21 million ever made, no more can be mined. Yes, there is the risk of quantum computing, and there is the risk of potential other hacks and all that kind of stuff. And yes, those are factors. And that is why I think the market is getting a little bit, hit right now, to say the least. But I also think it is a hedge against the USD. I think I'm a believer that the USD is going to absolutely collapse, and we're never going to use it again. No, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those people. I don't think I ever will be. We're still going to use regular currency, but I think this is a nice hedge and a savings tool. There is a reason why governments, countries, very heavy business people, very smart business people are as into this as they are. And obviously when you get it off cold storage, shout out Trezor. I'm a huge fan of Trezor. It makes it even nicer knowing that I can travel with this little card, this little MyCoins essentially, and nobody can confiscate it, nobody can take it away from me, and it appreciates in value over time. Even if it was just considered a very nice, easy, moderate savings tool, I still think I'd be investing as heavy as I am into it. So again, there is so much I could say about Bitcoin, but I've harped on it so much, I almost don't want to talk about it just because it is like, go on with your life, buy Bitcoin, relax, and go out and touch grass. That is kind of I went so deep into it, I've made so many videos on it, so I wanted to get that one out, obviously, out of the way first. Number two, arguably my most personal favorite, is business owners. Look at how many business owners have gotten stupidly wealthy the last decade or two. And I'm talking hard blue-collar businesses. I'm talking tech agencies. I'm talking dude. Restaurants, sure, I'm trying to look at physical businesses here, but mostly agencies and just service-based businesses in general, or even e-commerce businesses. Things have gotten insane. You need to own something. This is why I'm a big believer in Felix Dennis. Rest in peace. He wrote a book called How to Get Rich, and it is just such a good explainer of you need to own equity, especially right now. Jobs are not safe. So many things are not safe right now, right? You could get fired tomorrow, and it is what do you do? And I'm not. I'm never one of those people who is what is your backup plan? Because, dude, my backup plan is fixing my main plan. I've always been that kind of arrogant response. And I don't know. It has worked out well for me. So it is you figure this out, but you do need to own something. Even the people that don't want to own a business. It is dude, you still should, right? You really should. Sorry. I was getting over to the right for those guys to cross sooner. So just start something, obviously. I'm biased. Start a service business, start selling your time, start consulting on the side, the easiest thing that I've explained to my little 12 or 13-year-old brother is you buy an item on Facebook Marketplace for $50. You go and flip it for $200. You do a little bit of TLC, you do a little bit of work. That is the simplest, I buy something from X, I buy A from this person. E then do some work, do some TLC, and I flip it for B. And that B could be X amount of profit. It is the simplest thing to explain to yourself. So, that is the minimalist. That is the easiest foot in the door. But I am obviously biased. If you want help starting an online agency, selling your time, or selling some type of skills or service, I will handhold you to your first 3 to 5 grand a month, and hopefully let you eventually quit your 9 to 5 job. That is my end goal with most of these applicants. It is I get it, you're in the rat race. You don't feel very good. You probably hate your job in some way, shape, or form. I will help you in some way, keyword in some way. Escape that and start making you some side hustle money. Because this is exactly what I do. I still run my agency to this day. So, that is that one. Number 3, tech-focused index funds. This is arguably one of my favorite. This is a recent position for me too, which is what I was talking about with the tech stuff. I was originally going to start investing in the Magnificent Seven, but this is where, look at Amazon, look at Facebook, look at Microsoft, look at Google, look at what these companies have done the last even 3 to 5 years. Ever since I think the C word 2020 is when all of these things started going crazy. Because things were online, you were forced to be online, period work. Obviously online work. Things that were done in offices couldn't be done in offices anymore by law. We had to shut down, and I think that whole thing was, trust me. But it is it was kind of for the better. A lot of people got wealthier that had large shares in these companies, and I don't think they're going anywhere. Even if we are, in a little bit of an AI bubble, dude, you would be an idiot to say that this thing is going to change everything for the better. It is already replacing stupid jobs that shouldn't even have been jobs in the first place. Like data entry, like copying and pasting, like just admin that it is, dude, I'm so happy that these things are being automated because we shouldn't be paying an arm and a leg for someone to copy and paste some things into a spreadsheet. Right? AI is coming, AI is here, and I think it is only going to get smarter. I keep reminding myself, these are the worst versions of these tools, of these models, of these things that are being built with AI right now. This is the worst of the worst. There is always that side. By side with the AI video of Will Smith in 2023 and then the most recent one. And yes, that was 3 years ago. That is quite a while, but look at how much progress you can make near graphic movies with AI at this point, right? That is just a small use case. So these, again, where that point was going, is those who invest in tech-focused index funds could retire it heavily out. Beat the S&P do, I think it is going to heavily out. Beat the S&P in the next 12-24 months? Probably not. But the next 5 to 10 years, I think. So that is why I'm investing heavily into tech personally. It is why I'm still going heavy in the S&P. And the S&P, by the way, for those guys who are just go S&P, keep it boring, keep one ticker. It is dude, S&P is so tech. Heavy focused right now anyways. So for you to think that tech isn't a big player in the S&P, you're just, look at the data, look at the facts. You're wrong, right? So again, not pursuing. You're not saying you should. I'm just saying look at the numbers. I'm a huge believer and user of these companies. That is another thing. Excuse me, I'm not going to cut this. Jesus, I'm going to try to keep this as raw as possible, but I hate being sick, dude. I can't afford to be sick right now. Anyways, like, I love Meta Ads. Meta Ads is a money printing machine. I love Google. Obviously, I'm making YouTube videos all the time. I'm using their search tools all the time. Dude, I spend a ridiculous amount of money on Amazon right now. Amazon Prime still blows my mind. Prime Video. Like, I'm a huge user on all these tools. I don't really use NVIDIA much directly, but I know they're making a ton of chips. There are a reason these things are moats and trillion-dollar companies, guys. Like, I cannot emphasize tech enough. And when I see arguments of tech as a bubble, it is like, dude, you have no idea what you're into. You have no idea what you're talking about. Personally, at least that is my opinion, and it is only going to get crazier, and that goes into asset number 4, which is of course the true and tried boring S&P. This is the longest standing asset that I've personally been investing. I've been investing in the S&P since I was 20, maybe like just turned 2021. And it has been awesome. It is consistent, steady gains. It is the top 500 US companies in the entire state, country and I. Like, there is nothing much else to be said. I've made so many videos on the S&P. I won't repeat myself too much here. VOO is the ticker. For my Canadian fellows, VFE, I own half. Over $500,000 of my net worth into that at this point. And it is. I don't know. It is something that I think will like just consistently go up, even if it hits 7% a year. Even if we're at a low median, 8, 9, 10%. I'm still very happy with my money going in there. Bonus is, it pays a nice juicy dividend. I believe it is 1%. Maybe a little bit less than that after withholding tax, and it is good. This is exactly what you should be focused on, is chasing these type of asset classes that you just can dump money into, not have to worry about, and just get a return that way. So, I don't know. That is number 4. Number 5 is yourself. I know a lot of people, stupidly enough, don't view themselves as an asset. Duty you are. Before all these 4 other assets don't work unless you do. That could be your health, that could be your head and your mind, that could be furthering your education, whether that is with college. I'm not going to say college is bad, but I don't believe in it personally. I think there are a lot better options than the regular college, but that, like, these are options, these are there for a reason, but also books and online courses from people that you trust and that you care about and that you know, like, buy these things. Learn skills. Your nobody can take away what is in your brain. No chips, no bots, no nothing. Now, obviously, choose something that is still going to be in demand. When choosing a skill, ask yourself like, okay, does this thing have a 10-year runway? Will this still be in as high of a demand or more arguably than 10 years from now or than today, right? You've got to think of these things because they're important numbers. You don't want to go into a dying market or something that is going to be replaced in a year or 6 months or whatever, right? So I don't want to be doom and gloomy, but it is like, think of something, think of you, and what skills you can become a machine.